Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, I am joined with Jeanie and Paul Mallard from Mind Body Flo for Health. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Britt.
Hi, Brittany. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for asking us to join you. We're really excited.
I'm so glad. Now, for those who don't know, I haven't just pulled these guys out of nowhere. Jeanie and Paul and myself have known each other for a very long time. How long do we even think that we've been in each other's lives for?
14 years.
It's got to be 14, yeah.
Yeah, that's how long we've been, 14 and a half years now.
So I was about 8.
Yeah. You're just telling people your age.
Yeah, well, it's all right. Is that the right maths? Not quite, but anyway. Maybe it is. Doesn't matter. So, we both met each other years and years ago. Our parents were friends, and these guys are like a second set of parents to me, as I was saying to them. So it's really cool, as I was saying, to be able to do a podcast episode with them, as we're both in the health industry. And I really wanted to bring these guys on because they are wealths of knowledge, and it's going to be a super cool conversation today. So in saying that, Jeanie and Paul, would you guys be able to introduce yourselves and what you guys do at Mind Body Flo for Health? Big topic, big question, but go for it.
Big question. Thank you so much. You're like a daughter to us as well. So we have many memories all together, don't we?
We do.
And it's just so beautiful that this has come full circle and we're working together, and it's just beautiful. So thank you again. So Mind Body Flo for Health. What do we do? Well, that's the biggest question, isn't it?
So we try and our main criteria is affordable for your own well-being. So that's where we want to start, just so that it's accessible to everyone.
So we offer Qi Gong classes. We live here on the beautiful Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. And we have boutique small classes, so the boutique styles. So we have those here at our home. And then for the broader audience, we have our online as well, our online channels. So we want to be able to share this beautiful practice with everyone, don't we?
Yeah, and we're trying to make it our own as well. We're theming every class for the week, so it might be something that's happening, in the universe, or your star signs, and we can feature the Qi Gong around that, can't we? So people can relate to maybe how they feel that week.
Maybe it's a full moon.
In full moon, and people go a bit crazy, but people can relate, and then they can just blow it away. It's a beautiful classes, and the people that do it and people that do it online, we get beautiful messages, don't we?
And online we also offer not just our classes. Our classes are all pre-recorded, so you can watch them anytime, anywhere. So that makes it really flexible for people. But we also offer so much more. We've got programs on there that people can interact with, so they can join the program, and it will send these little pings to your phone to say this step.
The reason we did the programs was to change people's habitual habits. It takes 21 days, people say, to make or break a habit, and people would go, oh, I've done that once and I felt it, but then life just takes over again. So we've tried to make it interactive so that we can actually offer, I've got people working on a Qi Strength program at the moment that want better balance to prevent falls, and we've got younger students doing the Qi breath to increase their breath so they become better at their activities that they do. So it's just beautiful to be able to link this technology with this ancient practice.
We also offer education. So at the moment, I'm actually writing a Feng Shui program, so it'll be a course that we're going to put on there for people. We've also got, we link it all together with TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, Feng Shui, the Qi Gong, acupressure. We teach acupressure techniques, so it's all about self-help. And that's what we're all about. We've got programs, events, education, classes, all these like little lessons in how to, I don't know, help yourself with relieve headaches, sinus, things like that. And this is what Mind Body Flow for Health is all about, is the fact that we want to show people that you actually have it within you yourself to heal yourself. We're really passionate about that, and we want to show, and that's really what we're trying to showcase on our online platform.
The body's so powerful and it knows what to do, but what stops it is this and stress. 90% of problems people suffer every day is through stress. And when you learn how to cope with stress and move through life more effortlessly, and just be emotionally balanced, physically balanced, everything in alignment, then life's just so much easier. And that's, it's what we find and our students find.
It's so true. It's so true. And I was having this conversation with a client today, actually, and correct me if you've heard this and I'm saying it wrong, but I think like 80% of our body's reactions or signals come actually from our body to our brain, and only 20% comes from the brain to the body. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm saying, but essentially what I'm saying is most of it comes from our body rather than actually what's going on up here. And that's how we can relieve our stress, is by helping our body out and moving through it through our body and somatically and things like that. Is that a big thing you guys do?
Well, the Qi Gong works at a systemic level. So we're dealing with all energy. We've got physical energy, we've got emotional energy, we've got spiritual energy. And people seem to think that one's here, one's there, one's the other, but it should all be in alignment. And without going too deep into it, a lot of people's pain is generated from the brain out, but also just by learning how to nourish the body at a deeper level systemically with gentle movements and getting that energy to flow through relaxation and being mindful, you can actually release this tension and tightness and these blockages really quickly. Everyday chronic pain that people suffer, if it's acute, then we do say to people, there's a few rules, isn't there? If there's pain, there's no gain, and we relax into everything. That includes the breath as well. So we don't force stretches, we relax with them in dynamic movements. So we get this yang phase where we'll be moving in a certain way, like nature intended. And then we'd have maybe a more yin phase where we balance it to just hold gently and breathe and relax into it. So we never like trying to get to a position where we physically can't get to in that day. Every day is different, isn't it? So we just learn to accept, have that internal gratitude, be more contented with what we can achieve that day. So it is a beautiful systemic practice. So like answering your question, the body needs that deeper healing at a systemic level.
I love that. And I think that's really a big topic that I've recently spoken with clients about, is knowing when to pull back or when to actually just like go through with things and just like move through it regardless. And some days might be a slower day and it needs to be a slower day, and that's okay. But I think from your opinion, I'd love to know, how do you know the difference between the two?
Well, you're touching on there when people have always had this, I'll try and get this right because you've got to flip your brain quickly. If there isn't any pain, there isn't any gain. That is a westernized approach, and you're at the gym and you want to feel like so physically, I had a good session yesterday, and you take 3 days to recover. You've actually done quite harm to your body. You can do that sort of work if you balance it to erode it. If you let that tension and tightness stay within the muscles, then the energy cannot flow, and then that just brings in ill health. Eventually we'll get organ imbalance, the energies aren't flowing, the body will start to turn off things. That the brain can do that. The brain will shut down muscles.
I love this topic.
So it goes so deep. But then we look at it from the approach, like we said earlier, if there's pain, there isn't any gain. So doing everything in a mindful, relaxed way. Some people go, it's too slow. But when you actually experience it, so we do exercises that are like good for hip opening and strengthening the lower back. And we're doing, we're like building that cardiovascular, bringing the heart rate up. At the same time, we're releasing lines of tension, we're releasing emotional negativity, which is heavy energy. And then we bring in let that energy, when we can feel it and it just tingles and buzzes, you literally feel it through you. It follows like up your spine, around. You feel, most people feel it in the hands to start with, but you learn that mind-body connection so that you can actually send this energy to where you want it. And we have a saying, like, where your intention, your mind focuses on, where your intention goes, the energy will flow and the blood goes. And so we can actually improve microcirculation around organs, ligaments and tendons to actually get that deeper systemic healing, isn't it? And when the organs start to function, which is, we talked about Feng Shui, but which is based on the 5 elements, but there's also 5 element Qi Gong, which is so, well, it's so interrelated. It's the same, isn't it, really? But we do that, and we're looking at the creation cycle between your lungs to your kidneys to your liver to your heart to your spleen and back around again. And there's a beautiful saying that is like, the metal from the lungs creates water for the kidneys. The water for the kidneys creates the wood, allows the wood, the expansion, to grow for the liver. The wood for the liver creates fire for the heart, and the fire for the heart creates ashes for the earth, which we redig, to the spleen, which we redig from the earth. So our digestion is at earth, where we're grounded and have that inner strength. For the we dig to get the metal for the lungs again. So it's a bit of a process to get your head around, but when you start to learn the balance for every organ has a body system, like your lungs is your skin. Then your kidneys is your bones and your joints. So then everyone has a sensory organ. It just goes on. I could talk about it.
Sounds like
days, and I think we briefly said that if we go on too much, maybe this just needs to be in another podcast.
Part 2 coming, maybe.
I reckon it'd be 5 parts, because we got 1 for each element.
Yeah.
So
could you explain
and it's a beautiful way.
Sorry, I was just going to say, like, in a few words, maybe not a few words, because I know that's probably hard. For the listeners, can you explain what Qi Gong is in a roundabout way?
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
I can do that. So Qi is your life force energy. So Qi is energy.
Yeah.
And Gong means to work with. Simple as, nuts and bolts, to work with your energy and allow that energy to be free flowing. And we call that the flow state. And it's a beautiful state that we get to in the practice, where the energy moves us, and we can literally, you can move your arms and it's like they're moving on their own. And there's some, it brings, it's one of the only exercises, or so we believe, that deals with the left right brain working, because a lot of the flows we do cross the midline of the body. So the left right brain is working, and we have some really fun with our students, don't we? And it can even trip us up, because we just do these things and we'll switch all of a sudden, and they'll go, you can really see the disconnection of the mind from the body. But when you can bring that into alignment, you can actually do these without even thinking. You just, your body knows what to do. It just needs this to let go, so you can do it. I mean, the more you focus on it, the harder it is. So
So would you say it's mostly? Sorry, I was just going to say, would you say it's mostly like an exercise practice, or what is it? What does it combine?
It's completely. So Qi Gong was developed over 5,000 years ago, and it came from the melting pot. It's called Dao Yin. Of which Tai Chi came from. Qi Gong, which is the more medical side, and Kung Fu, the more martial side, came from. From that, we've had westernized practices come out from Pilates, that is basically just stretching from this melting pot.
Joe Pilates actually took some of the Qi Gong moves and Tai Chi moves and put them together to make his Pilates that we know today. It's really interesting, because although I'm not quite digressing, but I'm also a Pilates teacher too.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a whole kettle of fish.
Yoga as well.
So
Yeah.
I'm a yoga instructor
We'd be
too. So
need a whole podcast episode just for Jeannie's
all
qualifications.
those
I
different
think.
things. But yeah, so when we started the Qi Gong journey, I thought, oh, this is, this is from our yoga. Oh, this is from Pilates. Oh,
Yeah.
and so it was.
So it's
and
almost
then
like the
during our
founding
training-
father up here, right? The big original
Yeah, yeah.
one, and everything's kind of stemmed from it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. That's what it is. So yes, it's an exercise. It's a lot of fun. It's very mindful. It's almost like a moving mindful meditation. There's meditation we do after every class. Our meditations are what we call healing guided meditations. So yeah, we tend to well, our style personally, I like, because I'm a healing background, that's what my 23 years talking about my age has been about. So I like to heal from within. So like our meditations are all guided healing meditations to heal the organs and the mind. But yes, it's an exercise where, yes, you can start off you've got breathing exercises in there, you've got dynamic exercise in there, you've got activations, you've got, we can get quite sweaty, can't we? You can really build the heat.
It's a physical exercise practice, as in people can come and we can just be doing stuff in the start, and we've all like warmed up properly, and then we can do a flowing exercise. And we've had some beautiful moments over the months that we've been doing this with the people in our house here. And when we're at the end, we say, do you realize you was moving your arms for 7-8 minutes in that position? And they go, oh, because it's mindful, there's no time concept. But then we said, so if we said to you, go to the gym or go out in nature and wave your hands around like that for 7 minutes, they'd all go, oh, I couldn't do that. So it's when we get to this flow state, you can actually break through these barriers and erode this tension and tightness. So I think we was going to discuss this later, but some of our people, they might have some shoulder issue or back issues, and they work to their ability, but they actually find they can actually just get through the exercise more. And like a testament to Jeanie being Pilates, yoga, and Qi Gong, and that we only do Qi Gong. So it's like we have people that come and they just can't do the yoga. They cannot get on the floor. So yoga is brilliant in its own right. Then it broke into the Western world 30 plus years ago, and it's mainstream now. And Qi Gong has been one of the best kept secrets from the Western world. So and it's just breaking out probably in the last 5-10 years. But it's going to be massive. It's some of the comments we get, and this isn't my opinion, is it's so much more than they realized it is. And and also the people that can do both, or can, we get runners, they love to run, but they on that rinse and repeat of injury, and then they rest, and then they go out and do it again, and then they get the same injury. When they start to realize that it's more than just yang going, but if I can do this, then they're coming back to us, aren't they, saying, oh, bro, I didn't run in 6 weeks. All I did was Qi Gong, and I broke a minute off my PB as soon as I did the park run.
Wow.
And we're like, well done. And then the parents will be saying to us, oh, I can't believe my daughter, she just was running alongside me, and all of a sudden she just took off, and she got like this endless energy and this vitality in her breath and the strength in her legs just to go.
And that was during the marathon.
So
wild.
There's that, and there's the actual, when you've seen these athletes on the TV, like when they run a marathon, and they look like they're gliding across the ground.
So
they're just
effortless.
like, everything is effortless. Well, that's what we're trying to train the body to do. So we eroding habitual patterns of stress and tension, and we're bringing in the new habitual patterns to move more effortlessly with ease. So we don't, because the body's programmed for most people to move with tension and tightness. And we only feel relaxed when we're depleted, and we lie at the end of the day on the couch and go, oh, had a busy day. The beautiful people say to us, I can't believe I feel energized and relaxed. And that is two words we do not put together in the Western world, but it's how the body should be. We should operate from our parasympathetic and not the sympathetic nervous system of fight and flight, which is the stress. And this, again, is probably another podcast. Because
I love the nervous system. It's one of my favorite topics.
Yeah. So, so it's a beautiful exercise to answer your original question.
Yeah.
And then it just brings in so much wealth of knowledge to people, and the vitality as well of why they are like they are and what they need to do to move forward better.
Yeah.
You know, it's it's nothing, we haven't got the magic wand, have we? We don't go, here you go, take this pill, it's going to fix you. It takes effort. Everything takes effort and time to put in. And that's why we've developed our business to be like it is, that it can be anytime, anywhere, and affordable. You know, we're not charging masses per month. We've said price is fixed for as long as people hold it. It never goes up.
Yeah.
And that's us giving back, isn't it? This part in our life, talking from an engineer that was 33 years sitting at a desk.
Oh, that could be a whole podcast too, I think, like your transition from that to here as well.
I don't want to, I've actually, through Qi Gong, I've accepted it now. And I've not looked at it as a negative part of my life. I'm learning from my past to move forward.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing for me in my part of life. And I do another job which is more physical.
Yeah.
And I can actually do it, because if I do get tense and stressed, as in like the body holding tension, when I wake up going, I'll just 10 minutes of Qigong and it's gone.
Wow.
Just so knowing those skills is like wonderful, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. I love that. So how did you both get into Qigong? Is my next question for you.
You can answer that one.
Where did you discover it?
Jeanie that showed me.
Well, it's quite funny. I don't actually remember them. I remember the moment we both went, but I don't remember how I found. I think because of all the things I do anyway, it's kind of just was another exercise that, like I'm always, me, I'm always looking at
the next
doing
modality.
something, the next thing. And so anyway, I just happened to randomly, I think, sent to me, whatever, came across this class online for Qi Gong, and I thought, I'm really interested. And it was really funny because I'd flagged up a course on Qi Gong that I'd seen months before, that I thought I wouldn't mind learning more about this Qi Gong. I wonder what it is. And then it was really, like I say, it just sort of came up. I think
it was a Facebook thing. We was probably discussing it, and then your phone's listening to you, and next thing you've got things popping up on Facebook. Yeah, so, like it always is.
Just subscribe to one of those, like, try this, exercise on YouTube, maybe even. And I said to Paul, and I did it, and was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Like, this brings together everything that I know. And I just got this heart feeling of this is everything that I do. And so I said to Paul, look, there's an exercise I'd like you to try. So I said, let's do this together. So we were in our living room and we switched it on, and I thought he'll either leave in a minute or, see how he feels about this one. And I was particularly trying to heal, like, myself, because my job is predominantly massage. So
can I interrupt and just like
issues?
I was looking through your website and I saw all of your list of qualifications, and I just want to read some out to the viewers or listeners so they know. No, this is amazing, just so that they know who they're talking to. So Jeanie, when I knew her, when I lived close to them in Queensland, she was a reflexologist by mostly, would you say?
Yeah. You probably know me mostly through reflexology, but I was remedial massage.
Okay. So remedial, reflexology, hypnotherapy, I know you both do as well. Qi Gong, yoga, obviously, Jeanie, Pilates, feng shui diploma, crystal therapy tutor, which I'm so interested in. I've never heard of that before. La Stone therapy, is that like hot stone? Yeah, you're counseling level 1, Chinese nutritional therapy diploma, which I didn't know existed. That might be something for me to look into as well. Meditation teacher, like you're the whole package. So it's really, really cool. A wealth of knowledge.
It has come out over 24 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I never stop learning. I just love it. I love what I do, and I'm always passionate about how I can help other people. So coming across that class, I thought, oh, I fancy doing this. And you joined me. We did a class together, and not even halfway through, or maybe it was just
it was near the end.
I reckon. We just looked at each other. And we both said the same thing at the same time. It was just one of those moments that you go, oh, and we just turned to each other and went, we have to share this. This is incredible. We have to not only practice it for ourselves, but we need to show this to people. We know so many people that this could benefit. So it started with that of like, okay, we could help other people. And then
what were those feelings?
The training.
Sorry, what were those feelings that you guys were feeling? And like, why was it such a big, oh my God, moment?
The energy. Because this is like we was talking about the elements. So just to touch on the lungs, there's a sliding scale of an emotion imbalance with the lungs. So you can feel a bit sad, no enthusiasm. You slide into anxiety and depression. So I would come from an engineering background of so stressed job, and it pushes you down that scale. So I'd literally, I don't mind telling people, I tell all my students, I'd wake up feeling like I wanted to vomit every morning with anxiety, because I had endless emails to check, not knowing what was going to come my way. Even though I'd never been out of work in 33 years, I'd always been sought after, and I'd do that. It was just a massive work and all on my shoulders. My body was then going, no, you're not doing this anymore. So it was throwing these symptoms at me, anxiety. I never got to depression, never took medication. I could always control it.
You had heart tests?
Yeah.
Because you thought he was having heart problems.
Yeah.
It was really depleted.
It was massive. And then we went on in the end, I was on this journey, and I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. And you went, you know what, kids are left down. So this is probably not where everyone is in life, but I decided, no, this isn't suiting me at that point. So I left engineering and I retrained, as you probably see, qualifications as a hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
And I loved doing the hypnotherapy, but eventually I got to the opinion of, I spent 33 years sitting on my backside, and now I'm sitting with clients.
Yeah.
For like some of the sessions I would do, because I do healing with it, we do 3 sessions, and each session could be 2 to 3 hours. So I was sitting there again going, oh, my body was just starting to tell me this isn't good for you. And then I realized that, everyone wants this fast fix, this fast pill, and they think they really do hypnotherapy. And then you give them the homework, and then they come back for the next session, and you're like, okay, tell me, what you was doing. And they go, oh, I didn't have time. And you're like, you're wasting money.
Like, fix me. Here you go, fix me. And then like, you've got to do some of the work too.
Yeah, exactly. So when we did the Qi Gong, we was like, you know what? Because it works with the mind, and it talks about that habitual pattern. So that's what hypnotherapy is trying to overcome, trying to get in and reprogram your subconscious mind and take triggers away and give you that aha moment where you go, oh, that's why I'm like I am. And then you can change moving forward with your different beliefs. But through Qi Gong, we learned that no, this is the more active approach. We can actually alter our habitual patterns ourselves through our physical activity. So we decided at that point that hypnotherapy, and I'm not discounting it, it's got its place for certain things, but it is a client practitioner relationship, and they have to work together. And it's all built around rapport. So I'm not saying I didn't have rapport with people, they did. They keep wanting to come back, to the point where they'd come back and go, can I have more? And I'd be like, no. And I'd just say, and I've had to refuse clients, haven't I, basically, because they just love the trance state, and they love to lie in there and investigate what's going on, which is part of what it is. But we said to them,
business,
try, and
that didn't feel right.
No, it didn't, taking people's money off them like that, where, they could pay they're willing to pay $500 plus for hypnotherapy, where a $15 Qi Gong session, they would get way more out of it. And this is where we're trying to do. And we've had these people, and they've come and they've tried it and they love it. this affordable approach to your well-being, you know. So
and giving people the power that they, you know, because
Yeah.
like I said, we're not
It's a
saying
big
that
theme.
that, you know, but there's a lot of people out there that actually need to take back their own power, like their own,
Yeah.
and not just think that, yes, like you said, you know, there you go, fix me. It's about teaching, especially, you know, might be even young people, that we've got it within us already. You just have to tap into that, and you know, it's giving people their confidence back, that they can do it, you know. So that's really where we were about, not just, I mean, I see it every day in my business. I've got beautiful clients, but it would be really nice if they did the homework.
Yeah. Me too with my clients.
We've got a plan for those too, haven't we? But just talking about that sliding scale, I was on about, because I digressed off with my career. So after that first class, we went out of on that sliding scale, being down this end of what we was doing with our life, to the other side of the scale is inspiration and courage. And that's within literally the first session for us, whether it's a universal thing going, you've hit the nail on the head, this is what you need to do, or whether we just shifted straight up that scale because we was like, oh my God, we need to do this.
It was just
and from that, literally within days, Mind Body Flo for health was developed, you know, born.
Wow.
And then we've spent quite a while sorting the website out, and then
the major training that we've had to do,
and learning the camera that we're talking to now.
Technology, it was massive for us.
Just so we
especially me. And that, and the confidence of being online as well, like that's different to a class of live people in front of you. It's very different.
We have a class full of over, as there 20 people on a Monday morning at one of the over 50s resorts, and there's like, you know, there's some of them are like just over 50, and then they're not that, like it's a new one, isn't it? So they're all fairly young, and some of them still work. And the beauty of, like I was talking about, this sliding scale of me being an engineer, and I talk to people that are mechanical engineers or people working in the administration in schools, and they're so stressed. And they've actually, everyone has said, and I say it myself, is, oh my God, I wished I'd have knew about this at the start of my career, because I would have moved so much more effortlessly through my job. But who knows, that was my journey to, you know, be successful at what I did, but then my body to go, no longer, and then move on, so that we can come through, because we've got uni students that was so couldn't sleep, the stress. Not only, you know, that they're trying to do their physical activities as well.
It's adding more stress to the plate, right? Is that what you?
Because they're at university, they're trying to study, they're trying to keep themselves afloat with finances. So they're working. Some of them are working 2-3 jobs. And then you've got on top of that sort of like the pressure of this day and age with, you know,
social media and things,
social media sort of pressure as well. And they are just so stressed. Anxiety is through the roof. I mean, the statistics are crazy, really, of depression in young people.
It's insane.
I mean, again, that's a whole new thing to talk about. And it was just that, Qi Gong is not just for old people. You know, it's not just for the over 50s or the over 60s. It's for everybody. And we're finding that our younger students, well, they just can't wait for more, can they?
They always just see you next week.
They can't wait to be back, you know, and they just can't believe, like, we're getting beautiful feedback from their relatives saying, oh my goodness, thank you so much, we didn't know where to turn, what to do next.
Sometimes it was like they were so worried about them, wasn't it?
Like really,
you know, the depression and
the depression was really bad. And then on the other scale of that, like I know it wasn't part of the question, but just thinking about youngsters, is you go right down the scale, and not that we don't have classes for littlies, but you know our grandchildren,
little babies,
your godmother,
my god babies,
your god babies. So but even little ones, like our eldest grandchild loves to join in, and they only do about 10-15 minutes max with us, but oh my goodness, the difference. Like, you know, I mean, we've showed a few parents, like, just like, you know, you get your little 2-year-old tantrums, just shaking and smiling and shaking. It just,
you can't be sad when you
you
shake.
know.
So
we really had like feedback from parents that gone, oh, because you said that about your grandchild, I tried it, and yeah, my goodness, we went to daycare with no tantrums today, or things like that. And it just makes us go, yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's for every age, isn't it?
It is.
Every age, every ability.
And what a lot of the youngsters are starting to realise, like we all focus so much on our, and I think this is probably dear to your heart, or the external appearance. We brush our teeth, we wash, you know, and how we look like that. But Qi Gong is not, it's physical, but it's the internal that we need to deal with. So no one thinks about how, you know, if they're breathing so shallow, and again, this is part of the metal element, how that affects the diaphragm. And they don't understand what the diaphragm does. They don't understand how the lungs are passive and the diaphragm's active. And these arteries that run through it. And then we take pressure off the heart when we diaphragmatic breathe properly into our belly. And even to the right round to the kidneys, that diaphragm goes. And it massages your liver, your spleen, your kidneys, your digestion, the large intestine that runs around there. So when we don't breathe, and that's properly because we're stressed, we breathe from here. We hold tension and tightness here in the jaw. Some people hold it down in their glutes. These are the main tension factors of the body. And then that causes shallower breathing from here. Diaphragm doesn't work. And then eventually we get digestive issues. We don't extract nutrients from the food. Through the spleen not working properly. And it's just a vicious cycle of immunity being depleted. Then we catch colds more. And then we look for remedies for colds. We go to the doctor, we get on antibiotics, and the kidney and all that has got to deal with filtering out more toxins. Where if all we did was focus on the breath a few times a day, the body, then that habitual pattern in the mind would realize, oh, you really want to operate this way, rest and digest more. You're not a stress head. You don't want to be operating that way. And you can actually change your constitution, can't you, of how you are. Because we are a product of our experiences and environments we live in. And even to the point where this elemental stuff, if you've grown up, say, with a lot of fear put on you from your parents, don't do this, this will happen, don't do that, that will happen. You'll have kidney problems when you get older. And it doesn't mean to say it needs to be like that. We can adjust that habitual pattern because, like I said, every organ, every element has an emotion attached to it. So where the kidneys is fear, we've got anxiety, not anxiety, we've got agitation, frustration for the liver, we've got worry for the stomach. So when we get these repeated patterns that people got this racing mind, we actually deal with things in the class, don't we, where we do beautiful flows, and people go, how can the flow do that? Well, we're crossing the lines of the energy of the body. So we might come across the gallbladder and down through the arm, and you can feel that energy pulsate, and you wipe your mind clear. And we've said to people in class, okay, so these are for the more practiced students that we've got. Some people in the early days, it takes about 7-8 classes for them to get into it properly. But we say, just bring your arm up properly over your head and then come down that way. And they go, oh, there's nothing. But you come across past the ear where that gallbladder is down there, you can actually release frustration, agitation, and wipe the mind clear. And then which is going to, because not only can the organ give you those fears, but you can actually put it back in and make it even more out of balance. Like I said, parent putting fear into a child can actually affect that organ. But also, just as you get stressed through life, these negative emotions can become your operating way of life. Always fearful, always worrying, never having that inspiration or courage or that inner contentment and gratitude that you should have. So then we end up with unhealthy desires that we keep trying to go, oh, I need that better house, I need that better car that my friend's got. All that creates a massive negative imbalance in your energetic system. So learning to just have more contented and gratitude for everything that we have, no matter how small, of whatever we do, then these other external influences don't affect us. We can be kinder, have more empathy and compassion for other people. We don't take on their negative influences. So we do beautiful, like we strengthen the pericardium, which is the heart protector.
Yeah.
And these meridian lines run along you from the middle finger there, or the heart from your little finger. And we'll do beautiful flows where you can actually dial in and feel the energy, and we strengthen it and smooth it out. So it's if we're still on that question of the exercise, because I know we've digressed.
Oh, it's okay. We're digressing. This is what I wanted.
This is why I said it is, but it's like we said, our students have said, oh, it's way more.
Oh yeah,
it's way more than just anything they've ever done.
Yeah, it's more than like, I think I've seen a lot of practices of people doing similar Qi Gong or Tai Chi. The most common thing that pops in my head is seeing someone in the park doing it, just like near a playground. It's so much more than just that, right? It's more than like they're just doing a few, they're not just waving their arms above their head and whatever. It's like a whole thing of mind, body, and soul. I guess mind, body, flow, like your name suggests as well. And yeah, what would you say that like some of the big things for younger people that, you know, that's come up a few times, like with all the pressures and everything and the stress that we've all talked about, in like a few tangible things that people can do besides Qi Gong? Like obviously that's number one, guys, do Qi Gong. But like, what would you say to people?
It's Qi. It's pronounced Qi.
What am I saying?
CHI.
I don't know. Qi Gong.
Qi Gong. You're saying like quiche. You're pronouncing like quiche. It's actually some people spell it CHI, but it's
I've been
actually
saying
spelled
Qi Gong the whole time.
Sometimes.
I think so. I didn't quite get what you were saying, but that's all good. We get some
Qi
real.
You did really well.
Yeah, Qi Gong.
Qi.
No, but
Qi, yeah.
Yeah, Qi like a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Qi. Okay, Qi. Besides,
like Tai Chi. I think it's because of the way it can be spelled different ways.
So you can work on you. So we work on physical body and your emotional body and your spiritual body. And you can, if your physical and your emotional energies are all in alignment, then that strengthens your spirit. You can actually work on your Shen, which we call it, your spiritual energy, through mindfulness and meditation and solitude and everything like that goes with that. And then it will work back if you've got a strong spiritual, more essence about you, and you're like, you know, the Dalai Lama, or you're just like, oh, so zen, then everything else, because you're in that relaxed state, the body will look after itself. But we're dealing with the youngsters that are coming from the other way. So rather than spending on a like a sabbatical journey of like 10 years or whatever trying to get to that level, they literally can learn to just balance the physical body, the emotional body, then with the spirit side on top, we'll start to strengthen through and bring into alignment. And it's not a massive journey, is it, to be on? People can get benefits within months. And we always recommend, and we've even on our website, we've got a journaling, learn how to journal. People don't know how to journal. So we take them on a 7-day little program where it asks them questions and they can learn to journal, so that when they do this, they can ask themselves the right questions. How do I feel now? This Monday morning, you know, and in 6 months' time or 3 weeks' time, they can go, how do I feel Monday morning? I've been doing Qi Gong 3 times a week, and just take those little small credits or whatever you want to call it, those little positive changes, and go, I can spot the change now. Because like I said, we are a product of our, you know, habitual patterns and our beliefs. But over that long period of time, we lose that connection of, how did we get there? What made that change? We are the way we are now. We, you know, like I could ask you to think of your most favorite food and start to think about it now, and then you will salivate straight away. You'll be going, you know, that's an autonomous response from the body. And the same applies to stress. If you go to work and you know you've got this mountain of work, and over time you've like brought in tension and tightness, you will have an automatic response to operate from stress. So, you know, what we can offer youngsters is that moving forward through life, Qi Gong can give them that ability to let things just not affect them, just flow off them.
Yeah.
Not to the point where they don't want to work, but they can work effortlessly. They can move effortlessly. They can be physically balanced effortlessly. If stress is going on around them with friends and that, they'd be like, do Qi Gong. That doesn't bother me. I can listen. I can be compassionate, but I don't have to then
take it on myself.
Take it on it themselves. And you know, we've seen everything, and we start to diagnose, which, you know, we don't push on to people, but we've seen people on retreats, and it's just a complete letting out session, which is good for people to let it out. But equally, they've got to learn there's got to be a line in the sand where they break that cycle.
Absolutely.
Do something to change it, and not then go away going, well, I left my chest, but then that habitual pattern comes back in, and they just build up again until the next rinse and repeat breakdown or emotional imbalance.
And honestly, in the moment too, with like venting and gossiping and complaining, it actually releases a bit of dopamine, as you probably would know. And people almost think that they're feeling better when they vent and they share, and they're like, oh, I feel so much better. But it's going to keep, you're going to go keep doing those patterns, like you said. It doesn't actually
do that in the practice too for people, so they can feel. We'll do tiger exercises, and we'll do a roar in the class. And you can actually feel that hit you. Yeah. But we're doing it in a mindful way where we're relaxed after it.
And we always bring gratitude.
And we're bringing gratitude and contentment back in. So we're reprogramming, you know, softly the body. So it's not like we're doing like a hard detox and sending you off to some camp somewhere, you know. It's just programming the body to go, oh, I want to work that way now. I like that. I like how I feel when I feel like that. And then the subconscious mind can over time change it, but it takes effort. I mean, if you come once a week, you're on the journey for a long time. But we've repeated, like if you do three classes a week or 20 minutes a day, you know, that's what we sort of recommend, is the sort of thing you would do. So even while your kettle's boiling, you could do some, you know, activations, and you tap in, and and then you start to, over time, you do that. Like I start to do that, my body responds with energy that runs down my spine and down the back of my legs, and it tingles. I'm buzzing now. And that's because I've reprogrammed my subconscious response to know, I do that, I'm going to go, you know, and then you start your day from that platform rather than
stress, scrolling.
I feel sick, I can't eat my breakfast.
That's a massive thing too. And
so I'm like,
sorry, what were we going to say, Jeanie?
I was going to say, because like that's why we did the online, to show people like you can do the long classes, or you can do like short 10-minute, 7-minute classes, 13-minute classes. There's so many different, and we're trying to show people a whole hour. You can do these, like you say, no, you can do it while you're boiling the kettle. That's exactly what we say to people, you know, just do it. You know, you can either follow us on your phone or whatever at the side of the kettle if you want to, or you can just remember what to do. So
and the beauty of it is people go, oh, 50 minutes doing that. And we've had people, like when we first started at the retirement place, they literally would have a chair, and then would be like 10-15 minutes into the class sitting down, and all the exercises can be modified to do. You just modify it yourself. So if we're standing and we're doing something, you just do the top part, and you're imagining doing it standing, and that's equally as powerful. And we find that the people now, they don't sit down and do that.
They don't sit. All the people that used to sit down, they just don't anymore. They're like, it's incredible. I mean, they tell us the most beautiful stories about how everything has improved.
Well, one lady's got a mechanical valve in her heart, and she's going for a checkup this week, so we don't know the outcome of it yet, but she knows herself that she used to hear the mechanical valve operating constantly in her head. And it's because the way her body was trying to, that heart valve was pumping more because she wasn't breathing right. Her breathing's got better. And like we said earlier, that diaphragm's taking the pressure off what it's doing. And she said the noise is just gone. It's like it's a fraction or gone. He said, depending on what she's doing in the day. And we got over a lady who had a Apple Watch or
yes,
and she said it had said to her that her breathing It wasn't an alarm. It just came up saying her breathing was so much better.
In the last,
And her heart rate.
it measured it over 2 weeks, and it's or however it must measure. It said in the last 2 weeks your breathing, your oxygen was improved.
Oxygen, yeah,
that
oxygen,
was it,
yeah.
yeah. And she said, "Oh my, I didn't even know that was a thing that was on my watch." But yeah, she actually got a thumbs up from her Apple Watch.
Yeah, saying good
And that's
job.
all
You
she's
slowed the
done
breath.
is, and these are people that can't, like, they wouldn't be going to the other classes, you know, these all the Zumba type things and this, that, and the other, you know, and we don't discount any of that. That's perfectly okay for people doing the gym work. Everyone, you know, gets what they want. But as long as they listen and go, if I'm building up too much tension and tightness, Qi Gong is a good modality on its own, but it's complementary to everything. So you can do your yoga and you mix a bit of Qi Gong. And like we sometimes, like we touched on the media and how people, you know, their perceptions of things and things that the latest craze is hypermobility that's coming through on Facebook and, you know, sign up and do this stretch program and you too can have your legs like that and lie flat on the floor. Everyone's different. And hypermobility brings in problems as well, you know, like injury and stuff like that.
Are you saying that they're advertising people to come join a program so they can become hypermobile?
Yeah.
And like it's a big new thing that you should want to become hypermobile.
Well, it's being put through on Facebook and stuff. And I'm not discounting that some people would want to see that as a challenge and go, I'm going to, you know, press myself into that position, or someone's going to push me down, or you're going to stretch in a certain way that over time I'm going to release. And you're talking about the body fascia. So we was on about this systemic level. Yeah. And the fascia of the body is sort of like going to take on your pattern over life. Like me sitting for 33 years, my hips are so tight. Like physically, to get into that, yes, they're promoting that you can. But this body fascia is there to hold us in the shape we're in and all the internal organs. Yeah. So the dynamic flowing movements we do, because fascia doesn't like to be overstretched, you can cause harm or, you know, injury through that. Fascia likes gentle, soft movements, relaxing with the breath. And that's where Qi Gong can help. Yeah. And you can overcome any stiffness and tightness, but still remain like you. If your makeup's not to be hypermobile, I mean, some people are fortunate and that's the way they are, that's their consistency, but other people might see that, and it's a bit like young girls wanting to be like those Instagram pictures. Then you can bring in that emotional imbalance that you're inadequate, and no one's inadequate. No. Everyone is different, and this is what we say to people, you know, we relax into it and you modify accordingly. There's no competition. There's never a competition. We do a lot of balancing stuff, and we'll be doing these flows, and you know, some people have got it and other people they're like, oh, I'll have a place, and we're like, no, that's okay. work to your level. If you can't hold your hip up or your leg out in a Tai Chi kick for like 8 seconds, then that's not your hip flexor that you've got at the moment. You kick to where you can. And we do take some movements, digressing again from Tai Chi, and we do them in such a slow way that makes them like 100 times more powerful than doing them fast. Yeah. So or in like a more speeded up way. So that's what Qi Gong does. So when people go, oh, it's slow for a reason. Yeah. Yeah. To get that bigger benefits out of it.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the same with a lot of things that I do with clients in the gym or in any kind of exercise that they do. They think that faster is better. They might be speeding through certain things, but actually if you like maybe have a lighter weight but you go you know, slow, you've got more time under tension for the muscle, there's more control.
Yeah, time under tension.
Yeah, and that sounds exactly kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is. And it's you know, we don't use any sort of resistance other than the slowness, and like we was just saying about the body and the way it is, and in its posture alignment Qi Gong too. So we work, everything in this world is like the universe is energy, and we've also got the gravity of Mother Earth, and Mother Earth can be your best friend or she can be your enemy. Yeah. And people go, oh, what do you mean when we tell them that? And we go, well, if you're slightly out of alignment with gravity, you will get pulled over eventually to a point where, you know, you just physically got aches and pains because of your posture. So we do a lot of our stuff, but people work to what they got, but we try and keep soft knees, relaxed tailbone, tall spine, golden thread pulling us up to the ceiling. And it's things like just those little things that can make the difference over time for people.
100%.
And then it changes their posture. And then they might find, because they've changed their posture, that they look differently, and they didn't need to be. You know, so overly concentrated on why am I like that, or I need to do more exercise to flatten my stomach. You just posture alignment, you know, you bring it all back to that, and you do it in an easier way rather than you constantly forcing against nature and the energies around you. You know, you're fighting. You either go with the flow of the energy of the earth, or you go against it. And going against it is not. You're going to be more exhausted, more depleted. You're using more energy to try and stay upright nicely. When we can be in alignment, we've got more energy to do the things we want, like, you know, the mind, the energy of the body, the emotional balance. So we're not depleted, so that we've got that you know, inner strength with just all the energy that we need for that, what we say, like relaxed and energized, isn't it?
Relaxed and energized.
I love it. I love it. What are some things that, like, you guys have found benefits for yourself from doing Qi Gong, and since it came into your life, how long has it been now as well, by the way?
Oh, it's been a few years, hasn't it?
Yeah. So we started this a few years ago, and we've only been teaching since May this year, haven't we?
Wow.
We set up.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking, so we only actually started, so we've been in our life for a while, but then, we
launched the business the 23rd of the 3rd, 23, Mind Body Flo for Health. We was doing it before that for ourselves. And then we took on all that extra education that we could actually teach, as in like class style of.
But for ourselves, and this is why we thought we have to share this. So, biggest thing for me to start with was the breathing. So when I very first started my very first class, before I even thought about teaching, and bearing in mind, yoga teacher, Pilates teacher, and all the other things, I was struggling with the breath. Believe it or not, that was my thing that I struggled with to start with, and I'd get really dizzy really quickly, and I'd say, and I couldn't make it through a 50-minute class, which is, I kept thinking, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm supposed to be really fit and healthy. Why can't I do this? But I quickly realized that it was because my job is predominantly massage, and I'm crunching, and I don't want to breathe over my clients, so I taught myself over the years to shallow breathe, and it's actually really harming myself by being a shallow breather. So biggest thing for me to start with was breath. Then when I could get through a 50-minute class without fainting, and that doesn't happen to everyone, it was literally because I was so shallow in the lungs. The next biggest thing was my back, for sure. Like, I'm so much stronger in my core, so much stronger.
Well, just mentioning though that when you was doing your Pilates, like, was it like 2015, 16? I can't remember. You actually had a slip disc through that point.
I did have a rock.
It was through the Pilates training that caused it, and we now know, with the knowledge that we got, it's within this.
Being very young.
Yeah, she was very young. There was no yin in her life at that point. It was all go to the point where she wouldn't give herself any time to eat properly or rest. So we're not being disrespectful to any of these other modalities that all have their place. What I'm trying to say is you've got to balance. You've got to find that balance.
And I found that, all the things that I could do and I do, yet I wasn't looking after myself. So, I mean, that was many years ago. But now, like I say, through this journey, the strength in my back was massive. But then the education side, I already knew acupressure anyway, because I already do acupressure. So when I found that we can do an exercise that incorporates acupressure. I was like, oh wow, yay! You know, just being able to teach people those points as well. But it was like, for me, like everything came together. So the exercise, the healing,
holistic,
and it's holistic. It's a holistic practice, which is what I am. I'm a holistic therapist. So and for me then to go, oh, actually, no wonder my body was doing that, and no wonder, you know, it all just was like that, completed the circle for me. So that's what Qi Gong has done for me. But just so much stronger, like my strength, as in, I probably couldn't come to the to the gym and lift things like you do, Britt, but that's coming back to the fact that that's not me, that's not my constitution, but I'm stronger in my everyday life. I can perform my daily job, which I do for massage, without pain. I'm breathing so much better. The digestion improves, my thought process, the clarity of mind. Like, you get to my age and you start going, oh well, you know, maybe I'm a bit forgetful because now I'm over 50, but I haven't got that now. It's like cleared my mind again to the fact that I am writing programs for people. I'm wanting to educate other people again, which was always my passion anyway. So I've got this zest for life. So that's from me. From you, I can see loads of benefits.
Well, for both of us, like one of the main things doing slow movements repetitively in an easy, effortless way is tonifying. So to tonify is to build strength. So we're building natural strength. So again, like we said, it's not like you see some people and you go, well, that's more like chemical looking, like, or you know, you can actually, you know, you can get the body you want. But if you want that sort of look, then you can actually prevent injury by doing it. But we don't. That's not what we're about. We just got that tonified strength, haven't we?
It's tonified.
So the job I do as well, I can actually do more effortlessly now. My emotional balance is way better. Like, I'm not in that anxiety scale anymore. I'm totally out of it.
Even our children have said, Mom, what have you done to Dad? It's like you've brainwashed him. Because they know how I've been all my life and the way my mantra has been, and I guess I've rubbed off on you over all the years, but they suddenly go, Dad's so chilled. Like, what? Not that he never was, but there was always that difference. But
we've both gone through, you know, difficult periods. We've done a lot in our life, moving places, and from, you know, we've moved, you know, upheaval. The family moved from where we was to Cornwall, and from here to Australia. And the stress we brought on the job, and we learn now that these stresses don't necessarily affect you at that point in your life. It's over the next so many years, and we've done beautiful, like when we was mainly into all the hypnotherapy, where we did these stress tests for people about what you've been through. And these are the points where we sit now with Qi Gong and go, oh my God, even just having a holiday is stressful for some people. And then 100%. If you've a wedding or move house, move country, the list goes on, doesn't it? And it scales down, and you work out your figure, and then you can work out how close you would be to a stress issue, like a breakdown or whatever, if you're up in the few hundreds on this scale.
Many people,
and so we realise now that I'm operating life at a less stress level than I've ever been before. And I would have loved to have, like we touched on earlier, and known about some of these techniques, so I could have gone, but then that's been my journey. I sleep better. My sleep
is so much better for me too.
Sleep is massive. Joint mobility, I used to have a problem for mainly sitting desk with the mouse. I'd have an inward rotation and I would have a pain. I was literally trying to grab a glass, and it was as if someone went with a knife, and I'd be like, I need to snap, and I'd be, you know, right problems and trying to work or whatever for, you know, and keep pushing through. I've not got that anymore. I think the ligaments, the muscles are much stronger. The tendons are stronger. I could go through every organ and tell you how I notice my difference. And that's the beauty of it, and that's what we want to. Like, I think we touched full circle now, right to that penny dropping moment for people, where they can like do some classes, but then maybe this program will be online in the next so many weeks from now. We're hoping it'll be mid-January, but then people can read it, and it's a bit of an education. and then they can actually go, oh, it might be too deep for some, but for others they might go, that's me. Oh, I better work on my fire element, or I better work on my wood element, or, and they can actually, and not only that, we tell them, work to how you work in the cycle to the exercises. And it's beautiful. So yeah, my overall vitality, if I want to put it in one word, my vitality is, that's what it's all about, improving that effortless ease and overall life force. Your overall vitality improves. And there's some of the exercises we do, people are in the hundreds doing it, there's brothers, the 100, and they're like 103. The guy that we sort of learned through, he showed us one of the dragon exercises, and his comment was like, we did all this online, and he was just like, so it's pre-recorded learning, but he'd be like, this was taught to him by someone that was 103. Do this every day, you get that longevity in your life, that health and longevity, and that vitality, and that's what we hope, isn't it?
We want to
teach. We don't want to retire, we want to keep going.
That's it. That's basically it, and that's basically why I was looking for something dark. I can't sort of think about retirement. I want retirement to be fun, and I want to be able to have purpose, for sure. I love learning, but running around with our grandkids and just
that's what it's all about.
Fun.
Yeah,
it is, isn't it? Yeah. We had no seriousness, just being
enjoying every moment of life. It's too short, and
life is so
if you're
short,
going through it with pain, or that, then it can easily be fixed. Even for people like that, they might have conditions that are like they was born with, or they can't really change, but there's still the power of the mind, and they can just do stuff to be imagine doing it, and it can have massive, profound results for them. Just to actually activate energy in your hands. And there's some chi masters that can just literally put their hand out, and they can go, I want heat in my hand, and they can just guide that heat, and it just bang, it's there in the hand, and then they quickly Buddha palm healing, don't they?
That's another point.
That's another point. So it's like it's we digress.
It's healing within,
but it's
coming right back to why we started. We wanted to go through our rest of our life with vitality and longevity, and we also go, why keep it a secret? Let's share it. Let's help the people that we love, and we know all around us, and then that sort of then goes out to the broader community. And if everybody is working with, like in nature, in harmony, things would run a lot smoothly with everybody, wouldn't it?
I think one thing with that.
Things in.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, I think a lot of people are almost, and I hate to say this, but I don't hate to say this, but almost like either addicted to their suffering, or they think that that's the only way, is the way that they've been.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they don't know that they could feel so much better if they just did some whatever the list of things is that could make you feel so much better in your life, rather than this is just how it is. This is how it's always been. So it's really cool to see that, like, you guys are like expanders for I'm sure the people around you as well, like seeing that, like, oh my gosh, there's another way. I don't have to live with this. Yeah, it's really cool.
Suffering in silence, they don't have to. And this is another thing that we want to be. Not only is it this affordable well-being, but we've got personal friends now that are like joined up. Yeah. And we're like, why hasn't your dad joined the program? He came to a class and wanted better balance. So we took that as a little inspiration. And once we got all the camera equipment, then we recorded all that. And we were like, why hasn't he done it? She went, I didn't think I could share it with my dad. And we're like, no, we deal with it like as a unit. So if a family wants to purchase it, then that family can use it.
Yeah, they don't have to buy it individual person in the household. They all share it.
They all share it. So
they're loving it, the whole family.
So I get comments come through because they can comment back on their progress, and I get comments, and I'm thinking, because it's her name, not his, but I know he's doing it. So it makes my heart like like going, actually we're making a difference.
Yeah.
And that's the reward. So, you know, not only has Qigong helped me, but for us to help others brings in more joy for me as
That
well.
must
And
be,
that's where we,
yeah, so I was going to say that must be so healing for you as a man to help another man in that way.
Yeah, it is, it's so profound that,
Yeah.
you know, and just to be open and honest with people, just to say, you know, because I met him out and I said to him, look, I did that for you. And he was like, I didn't realize. He said, I'll have a word. I can't mention names, but then next thing we know, that person's saying, well, can I share it with my dad? And we're like, yeah,
please.
why not?
Yeah.
You know, please share it. Why would I want everything? And this is another thing we'd want to do is we're still trying to figure it out and the logistics of it all. But like we're recording so much stuff and we bring in like 4 classes. So, and every week one drops off and a new one comes in with a new theme. And we're always putting the class for the week ahead on so people can practice ahead of that week before, you know, any, you know, astrological impact hits them or whatever you want to say, so they can actually be prepared. So we're trying to do that, but also we don't want all this knowledge to be disappeared in the cloud and no one can ever view it. So we're putting a program on there called the Qi Archive, which will be all like accessed into the cloud. So we're just trying to work out the logistics where someone can actually request to join it, and then if they did leave, then we can remove them from that because it's separate to the website. So, but we can link out to these videos through into the Microsoft account and do that way. So, and so that people, because we've got like several people going, oh, I love that class when you did the dragon routine. And he's fell off now. And we're like, well, when I get the Qi Archive program up, which it is there, I've just got to activate it again and work this process out. It's only an administration process for us, isn't it? Then I said, you know, you can make a note of it and then you can go and view it whenever you want. That knowledge should not be hidden. Knowledge is power, not power for us, it's power for each individual to know that. And, you know, in their journal, oh, I love that routine. And then, you know, when they're feeling that way, they can go back and do that routine again. It's not that it's, oh, I'll wait for them to do that again. They can access it whenever.
They've got their own power.
Amazing. Can you share, like, I think we'll start to wrap some things up. I know we could talk for hours and hours and hours, but like, would you like to share a bit more in detail how people can work with you?
Definitely, just sign up on our website. So it's www.mindbodyflo, that's spelled FLO, 4 health.com. You can join. It's the video classes. You just go to the video class and there's 3 plans there. So there's a plan for people that only want to try it for a week. So that's $17 at the moment. These prices will be current for a long time.
Australian dollars.
And but with that, it's called an and/or pass. So most of our people who come to the boutique classes can come to a class and see it for the whole week on video. So the cost per session is like reduced, but then it's also there. That's why we say and/or, for people that can't make classes here can actually just try it for a week. And it's not a reoccurring subscription plan. It's just literally you pay once and that's it. So they can, so if you only wanted to just test the waters, that's fine. We also do a month one, which is 39 Australian dollars, which is basically you can try it for a month and it doesn't renew. So we call it, what do we call that one? The no commitments. Because for some people they don't want to commit to that regular cycle because of cancellation. So we've sort of addressed that there. But also in our monthly plan, which is the reoccurring one, we allow people to cancel it themselves through their members area. Like, so like when we signed up for all our training on places, you couldn't cancel. You had to send an email to their admin and wait. And then, they was nice and they responded, sorry to see you go. But we was like, we don't want to deal with the business that way. It needs to be seamless. So you can put a checkbox and go, allow clients to cancel anytime. And then it just carries to the end of the bill sequence. So that one is $33, so it's less per month. And they get there's no tiers of like everything. So you literally will get access to everything that's in what we call the Qi programs.
Yeah.
So anything that we put in there, you get access to, plus the class channel, plus the feature class channel.
Education, so that anyone that's a subscriber will get that's the monthly subscriber, well, anyone that joins the channel basically will also get, so like I say, they'll be able to do the Feng Shui course if they want to. That's included in there, so there'll be heaps of education coming on throughout this year that will be running, and we just want to put those on there. So there's just so much, you know.
We've got so much to share, and it's keeping us busy. As you know, it's really busy. But we're like, you know, if we start putting like out there saying, yes, you can do our classes, but then if you want to learn Qi Gong, it's gonna, you know, we'll learn the elements. It's going to, you know, you're gonna have to pay $1,000, $4,000 US, whatever. You know, that's where we're like, you know,
it's not accessible.
It's not. It doesn't become accessible. And so, but mainly we're about helping people, their well-being, and then giving them that knowledge. Some people just want to do it and they don't want to teach it. Other people can come and use it and learn and practice, learn a bit more in the programs, and then take it away and do what you want with it. You know, the more we can spread it, the faster Qigong's going to grow. Shouldn't be held behind this financial blanket of people trying to get better gain. It should be be open to anyone and everyone. Amazing. Anytime, anywhere.
Anytime.
Yeah, that's it. And I know you guys also run classes out of your home in the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. So if there's anyone listening that's not, or like is in that area that wants to calm down, don't obviously just come. You also book in, but
the details are on the website.
Yeah, I'll link everything below. Yeah, I'll link the website below.
We have we also do events, so we've got an event happening in the Sunshine Coast, and then we hope to have events happening all over Australia. That's
coming soon, maybe
coming soon.
Maybe or maybe not with myself, but details to be released later.
Definitely with you, Britt.
Details to be released soon. But you know, we're that's our plan, is to get around Australia, and we're off to the UK as well next year. So again, really looking at being live, doing some live classes or events over there. So just really at the moment, networking and making connections with people, and just like yourself, and sharing this beautiful information, and exciting things to come for us.
So excited,
really excited.
Thank you so much. I think we'll wrap things up there. I feel like we've been talking for just over an hour, so I feel like we did pretty good. Like this could have been longer, but I feel like we could have done.
It could have been longer.
Yeah, and I think we'll definitely have to come back and do a part 2, and touch on things that we didn't necessarily share today. But yeah, any last thing that you'd like to say, guys?
Just make health and well-being, take back the control for yourselves. You know, but you have that. We always say to people, don't we? You have the Qi, the life force energy within you.
And
the force is with you.
I just want to thank you, Brittany,
and thank you,
because you know we like we said, we don't disrespect anything else, but you sharing this into your community helps everyone's knowledge, and you know people go, I'll try it, you know, whatever. So we're just trying to make it affordable for people, and and hopefully through your channel and your expertise as well, you get more people on board to 100%. Experience the Qi journey.
And it's really balance, and it's all about balance, isn't it? You know, all the exercises together and balancing them.
Honestly, it's a big part of my work as well, isn't just in the gym. So this is why I was super intrigued to have you guys in, because I know myself, I want to go more down a path of holistically, like my initial uni degree was exercise and sports science, so that's just my background, but I love a lot of other healing modalities as well. And I definitely encourage things like stress reduction and stretching and Pilates and yoga and all the things for my clients as well. So this is just another tool that they can put in their toolbox of well-being.
Exactly.
And it's just a tool.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah,
not
and
just
whatever works for them.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah, whatever. Like I said, everyone is different.
Yeah.
And so if your thing's yoga and you get that balance out of yoga, then that's fine
Perfect.
for you.
Yeah.
But giving someone that extra level or just another option, basically, and whatever they take from that, whether they go, oh, this suits me better, then that's where it is. It's
just
giving
balance.
just another choice and spreading that news, isn't it? That there is another option out there for people that have tried things and then they've gone, didn't suit me, but then maybe this will. Or they go, well, I did that, but then I'm doing my meditation class on this night and something else the other night, and it's just too much to fit into their lives, where they can do it all within 20 minutes or 50 minutes, depending on what time they've got available. It's
amazing.
It's the beauty of it.
Yeah. And I think
you.
you're welcome. I think definitely a holistic approach to health is the way to go. And it's what a lot of people are starting to turn to, that there's not always just the one way or the one magic pill. Like we said, like it's all within you, and there's lots of different things that factor into health as well.
Yeah, all the medical companies are trying to invent the breath pill.
What? Oh, no. Don't even
It's a joke. We do. It's a Qi Gong joke. Because if they could put all the benefits of proper breathing into a pill, everyone wouldn't need it. They'd go, oh, I'll take that instead, because that's our Western approach. But
you gotta put the work in, guys.
Just know that. But there again, it's not work like you could imagine. It's if you can do something for an hour but then feel energized and relaxed, and then
doesn't feel
completely
like work.
different to when you went in, and not depleted the next day. You have a beautiful night's sleep, nourish the body even more naturally, and then wake up going, I'm not aching or tense or tight. That's the state we love to hear what people say. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
So I'm just sharing that through you as well, your channel. These efforts that we put into this is hopefully we can make big differences to people. Yeah,
I love it. I'm going to definitely leave your links to your websites and social media and Facebook and everything in the description of the podcast. So on Spotify, we'll have all the links of things. This episode is probably going to go up on YouTube, same thing. The description and all your links will be below for people to check you guys out.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Britt.
Bye, Brittany.
Bye.